If you want to check out the entire show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. We move on to we close out Max's card with 3 big games. And we just talked about a beauty. By the way, that Miami Hurricane spot, Max, I think I will be joining you on. That was a great breakdown. 9 p.m. Eastern, number 15 ranked Rutgers Scarlet Knight, 7-2, 3-2 in the Big Ten. At number 23 ranked Michigan State Spartans, 7-3, 1-3 in the Big Ten. Breslin Center, we're in East Lansing, Michigan. Let's see what we have on offer. And very surprising here to not have this up at FanDuel. Let's see what we're getting over at Circa here. And we have Michigan as 1.5-point favorites and the total at 151. Let's start with Rutgers. After winning 6 straight to start the year, Rutgers has lost 2 of 3, coming off a hard-fought 77-75 loss at home to number 10 Iowa on Saturday. They've struggled from the foul line all season long, just 62%. They went 4 of 12 against Iowa. Ron Harper Jr., who's averaging 22.1 points per game, returned after sitting out 1 game with an ankle injury. Junior guard Caleb McConnell played for the first time this season, returning from a back injury that was originally going to sideline him for the season. Michigan State snapped their 3-game losing streak with an 84-77 win at Nebraska on Saturday. They hit 45.1% from the field, 34.9% from 3, 75.9% from the line. They have just 2 players averaging double figures in scoring. And 6'6" junior Aaron Henry, who's averaging 13.4 points, 5.2 boards, 4.1 assists, and 6'9" junior Joey Hauser, who's averaging 12.3 points, 7.9 boards after not playing last season. Max, Rutgers, Michigan State, let's roll.
Jim, I'm not really a big fan of things from the state that this team plays in. I'll tell you that. But I will tell you one thing. I think that this Rutgers team is ready to rock and roll. They're ready to rock out with something out, and they ain't putting it back in. Let me tell you that. All right? This Rutgers team, they've gone over in 6 out of 8 games. They average 80-plus points. They can score the ball, even if they miss 10 free throws. Rutgers is lethal from 3. Caleb McConnell's back. Oh, yeah, baby. Give me another weapon for Coach Michael to use. He's got Jacob Young. He's got Geo Baker, who loves to go to his Kobe spot and hit his Kobe shot. Kid, you keep on hitting those all game long against Michigan State. They won't even freaking click and clue in on what you're trying to do to them. Plain and simply, when I look at Rutgers, this is a team that can win without making their free throws. I hate to say it. I hate to go against my normal ideology, but this is just a very impressive team. And I think with the stigma of not being able to win on the road, and let's be brutally honest, they didn't win one on the road that they should have won. They were up big against Ohio State. Miles Johnson got into foul trouble. The Zebras had a bet on Ohio State, and they helped them out. And it ended up turning into a complete tale of 2 halves. I think that Rutgers learned their lesson. Miles Johnson has been a goddamn godsend this year. I don't know where his offensive game and his offensive court intuition came from, but God bless it, and someone send that guy a stripper. So I'll say this. Rutgers is a balanced scoring team. They have to limit their fouling, i.e. Miles Johnson has to stay on the floor because Cliff Amore is injured. But Montez Mathis has decided to be, well, if you want to give me a shot, I'm going to make a shot type of guy. And I think that with Mathis, this is a guy that has to have his imprint on the game. We've seen Rutgers do a good job of limiting their opponents in first halves as far as around 30 points allowed. They have a first half advantage against Michigan State. I think that a fast start on the road is going to be critical. 30% three-point defense is going to be a very important metric to keep up with. When you look at this Michigan State team, the bottom line is Aaron Henry is not dropping 27 on Rutgers again. Josh Langford, he's finally looks like he's coming out of his shell. But the difference is with this Michigan State team this year is what are you doing at the point guard spot? You're rocking with Rocket Watts or Foster Lawyer. Foster Lawyer looks like he should be making my sub at Subway, not starting for the Michigan State Spartans. Okay? So this is a Michigan State team that also has lost 7 straight games ATS. They probably won't be able to limit Rutgers' second chance opportunities, which also means they won't be able to keep them off the offensive glass. I am definitely respectful of Malik Hall for Michigan State. However, I just don't believe in this team being able to win games right now. I think that this roster is missing a true floor general point guard that made everything okay, and this is Rutgers time. So, Jim, sign me up with Rutgers, and please tell me what numbers are available on the total.
There's only 2 books here of the legal license books that are hanging this game. So Bet365 hanging the +1 at -115. Interestingly enough, Circa giving you a +1.5 at -110. So why don't we start there? Do you want Rutgers +1.5 at -110?
Yes, please. I'm surprised about that because I observed some line movement where it flipped to Michigan State, being a 2.5 and then bouncing back down. So interesting to see this line because, Jim, it did open, I believe, as Rutgers a favorite. So there's been some definite movement.
Well, I just clicked on Bet365 as if I was to bet it, and that has moved to +1.5. So I would have to accept the changes if I want to bet it. So it's +1.5 now at both books.
Okay, I'll take the 1.5.
All right. Then we get to the total. It is 151 at Circa, 152 at Bet365.
Over 151, please.
Over 151, and that will be locked in right now. Sorry, let me move this around. Over 151 -110, both available at Circa Sports.